Welcome back to the Black and Gold Report, your destination for all the hot topics on campus right now. I'm Lauren Parker, and here's what Vanderbilt is talking about. Everyone on campus is buzzing about the presidential election, but did you know that over 500 LGBTQ+ candidates will appear on the November ballots, up from the previous record in 2018, representing a 33% increase. Studies have also found that candidates are more racially diverse than in past election cycles. Remember that your vote extends beyond just who will be in the White House, but can also contribute to other important people that can make real change in office. So remember to make sure all of your voting materials are in place so you can vote correctly when your ballot comes. Additionally, be sure to follow all directions so your vote can count. Did you know that you can now automatically donate your daily leftover meal swipes to Nashville food banks? If this worthy cause interests you, check out Swipes for a Cause on Instagram for more information and to sign up using the link in their Instagram bio. Ever wonder what it's like being in quarantine at Vanderbilt? Today, I brought in Robbie McCarthy to talk about his experience in quarantine at Blakemore.
Hi, Robbie. Thank you so much for joining me. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Really good, really good. So, you were in quarantine. How did you get there? I know that you didn't have COVID. So just tell me a little bit about that.
So it was the first week of classes at Vanderbilt. And on a Tuesday night, I was feeling like pretty hot. And I checked my temperature and it was like right around 100. So on Wednesday morning, I went straight to student health and I was like, hey, like, just so you guys know, like, I think I should get a COVID test. I'm having this fever. I've been between 100 and 101. And so of course they tested me right away because like that's a pretty big symptom with COVID. And you know, it wasn't flu season at the time. So it made sense to test me. And pretty much the way it works is if you get a test, you have to be put into isolation until you get your test result, especially if you have like any symptoms.
Okay.
And so I ended up going in isolation with my roommate. My roommate had to go into isolation as well. And he had to get tested too, just to be safe.
Okay, right, right. So you guys both went into isolation, and where did you isolate? Which location?
So we were sent to Blakemore House for isolation, and we were each put into like single rooms.
Okay, awesome. So you're in single rooms. So at this point, how are you feeling? How is quarantine? What was your experience?
Overall, like I just remember I broke down. I like cried for an hour. I was just like really upset because it was like the start of the school year and like I was already having this huge hump. And I was actually really sick. Like I was never fully diagnosed with anything. It was just like some viral infection, most likely. But I was really sick for 6 days. I had like 102-degree fever almost every day until it finally broke. And when I got to the quarantine room, I made funny TikToks. It was kind of funny, but just to like make light of it. But like mental health wise, I was like really shaken. When you go into isolation, like Vanderbilt like takes you on a golf cart. So like it like I don't I kind of feel like I was being shamed, like going into isolation, like on this golf
Right.
cart. Like I just wish I had been like, I don't know, like put like somehow like in like a car, like, you know, with like proper precautions. Cause I just felt like really like exposed.
Exposed.
And then I won't lie, I did not bring enough bed supplies. I should have brought a big blanket and like bed padding because like the twin beds without any padding are not comfortable.
Yeah.
And like the rest was like okay. I hadn't eaten food that day, so I was really hungry. And so getting food was like a little bit of a challenge at first. Like I had to call one of the ladies who was super nice and helpful to like bring me food. And they like provided you with like a couple snacks, like two things of canned water and like two Gatorades, but
Mhm.
like that was it. And then you could get like two more canned waters like with every meal and like you picked all of your meals up at the same time.
Mhm.
So the issue for me was like I actually needed a lot of fluids because I was really sick and I was running a really high temperature.
Right.
And it was like really unclear like how I could get that. Like I wasn't sure like who I should call. And I
Yeah.
hadn't had any Tylenol with me. So I was like, I don't know, do I call student health to get that?
Right.
So that was really complicated. There was a little bit of like ambiguity in like just the whole process. Like I never really saw anyone like downstairs. I was like, well, if I'm really sick at night, who do I call?
Right.
So like that just made it overall really stressful. But
Right.
like the contacts I did have phone calls with, like they were really nice people. But I just feel like there was a big disconnect, which just like really added a lot of stress on the entire situation. And I also didn't feel good.
Yeah. Yes. So if you were to give somebody advice who's going into quarantine, you tell them to bring bedding, maybe some extra fluids and some Tylenol, anything else, any like tips?
I definitely, I mean, those would be my biggest tips. Like
Okay.
bring a good blanket, honestly, because they didn't tell me to bring my own sheets, like, because they said sheets would be provided. But to be honest, like they're like the sheets that like can get like thrown away, so they're not comfortable.
Right.
Like bring an extra pillow, bring your own sheets, like bring a blanket, and like try to either like arrange, like try to bring fluids. Like, especially if you are sick with a fever, like that's so important. And I'm sure like there might have been somehow I could have gotten some more, but like I didn't know who to call.
Right.
So, just and like bring stuff to do because you get bored really fast and you want to like make sure you stay in good mental health.
Right. Right. Well, thank you so much, Robbie. It's been super useful, I think, to anybody who's going to go into quarantine, and also really great hearing your story. Also, just a thank you, I think, from me and everybody at Vanderbilt for self-reporting and going in. And I know that that was such a traumatic experience for you, but I think it just goes to show how much Vanderbilt students care about keeping our community safe. And you just really embody that. So thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, seriously, like it was something, if it wasn't COVID times, I was just taking Tylenol. Like I might have gone to student health, but I was just taking Tylenol. But I was like, I gotta go, man. Like I feel mostly fine, but I have to be safe,
Yes, yes. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you later, Robbie.
Yeah, absolutely. Bye.
Bye.
In news on campus, many residential colleges and houses on Commons are holding lots of fun activities and events. So be sure to keep an eye on your email or anchor links for these awesome socially distanced or virtual gatherings. Additionally, be sure to look out for fall giveaways from the Student Alumni Board, VPB, and other organizations. That's it for this edition of the Black and Gold Report. I'm Lauren Parker, and for our whole team, thank you and anchor down.